Suga Show is back in town. That's right. We have Suga Sean OMalley taking on Marlon Vera in the co-main event. Now, this is absolutely stellar of a matchup. We see Sean OMalley obviously stepping back into the cage. He was just in there, 2 months ago? Chito Vera is an absolute beast, super underrated. He's never been finished, and we all know the finisher that Sean OMalley prides himself as being. Now let's just jump right into this. Significance of this bout. Sean OMalley is a superstar in the making, and we can all see it. And we have Chito Vera among many other fighters that see this guy's star that's ascending, and they want to absorb that and run with it themselves. What do you see moving forward? Not even moving forward, but what do you see as this fight in terms of the legacy for what will be Sean OMalley?
Well, in terms of significance, I think the UFC know that they're probably going to give the edge to Sean OMalley here, only because they moved him up from the curtain jerker, the pay-per-view, to the co-main. So they really want to just have this guy like leading into the main event, which is, of course, DC versus Stipe. And I don't think the UFC would do that if they thought that, he couldn't hang. And I kind of agree with it, to be honest. I think, I'm all on board the Suga Show, the Sean OMalley hype train. I think that he has the skill set to do it. And I think he's only going to keep propelling himself forward until he's getting, the main event slots and consistently. Because right now, the UFC are still kind of grooming him, right? Like, Chito Vera I think he's unranked in that bantamweight division. I don't remember seeing a number next to his name, but it's another.
If it is, it's 15.
Right. It's another, tough guy at the absolute bottom of the rankings for Sean OMalley to see. Okay, what's the top 15 like? Okay, what's the top 10 like? What's the top 5 like before he takes those steps and derails the train too soon? I don't think the UFC want to do that. I think the UFC know that they have a gem here and a total star. And I think significance of the bout, all you have to look at is where he got placed on this card as the co-main event above JDS and Rosenstrike. JDS being the former champ.
Right.
I think they know, all right, listen, we got to put the Suga Show on display here, because if he wins on this pay-per-view with how many people they're expecting to tune in, they got another big star.
That's it. People are tuning in not only for Stipe and DC, but if you go and look at last time, 2 months ago, people were talking about Sean OMalley's hair, he is the talk of the town every time he's stepping in there. He's the keeps himself relevant. Event. He is the people's champ already, if you really think about it. This guy's on YouTube. He's doing his thing with the Timbo and Suga Show. And it's amazing what he's doing in terms of parlaying his popularity. But I think he put it best in the media availability that he had prior. He said, people, like, all these extra things I'm doing, that's whatever, but it wouldn't mean anything if I'm not going to the cage and knocking people out first round. That's what the premise of everything is, and that's what he's focusing on. And I love hearing that from a young guy who, honestly, those 2 years off probably benefited him the most, honestly, because yes, you have the stupid pulsating of the ostarine in his system. Look at him, he's not doing anything. You can just look at him and tell. But I think that gave him a lot of mental break, where he got a lot of fame for fighting Sukumtat and fighting on one leg and having all those things happen. And that parlays directly into what are our predictions for this fight in terms of what we think is a transcendent talent taking on a very game and aggressive Ecuadorian in Marlon Vera.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, like, just to dive right into the predictions, I think everyone who's watching this fight is expecting Suga Sean OMalley to get the first round KO again, right? Because if they didn't believe that, he wouldn't be this high up on the card. He would be main eventing the prelims. He would be, curtain jerker of the main card. He would be third even. But the co-main, that's a lot of faith. And I don't think the UFC would put him there because they want to put over, Marlon Chito Vera, who's not even ranked, right?
100%. You go and look at something like Sean OMalley. He goes and gets the Ecuadorian colors in his hair. It's not supposed to be a jab. It's supposed to be respect to absorb more of the Ecuadorian fan base. Love that tactic. Now into the prediction for me.
Okay.
They're wink,
right.
wink.
Yeah, wink, wink. Exactly.
But I love that he's playing it off because it's so easy to. And the thing is, he's not being disingenuous. He's not lying. It's just that he's not being entirely truthful. Now, that's part of his creativity, though, and that ties right into the way that he fights. And that's the two things I have for him is overwhelm and confuse, because he's so erratic. He's so random. You don't know what he's going to throw. Very Connor-like in that way. And then overwhelming with long barrages. He's a long fighter, man. Suga Sean O'Malley is in the 135 division at 5'11". Chito Vera is at 5'8". He's not like he's short, but for 135, 5'11", that's pretty tall. So I look at the significant strikes. He's got 7 landed per minute. I mean, this guy is looking for that first round knockout every single time. For me, how is Chito going to win? It's got to be constant pressure to engage a clinch and maybe take a takedown and use that black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Leg kicks, try to chop him down, slow it down, defend. That's the biggest thing, and outlast. Now, that is the key right there, though, the defend. I don't know if Chito Vera's got it in his locker where he's sitting there being patient and just counter-striking the whole time. Mm-hmm. Strikes me as the kind of guy where if he gets hit, he's going to obviously in the back of his mind know that he's never been finished, and it's going to be, okay, you want to hit me, I'm going to hit you back, and I'm going to get you back. And that's exactly what Suga Sean wants you to do. So with that being said, I got this an 80% win probably for Suga Sean O'Malley. It's probably going to be a knockout. If this could go to decision, if Chito is tough enough to make it there, but I think it would be a convincing decision even if it does get there. Prediction, probably a knockout, I'd say round 1. I'm just going to go with Suga Sean on what he says.
Yep, absolutely. Hard to argue with that, to be honest.
Well, there it is. Do you guys agree with Suga Show? Is this going to roll on? What's next for Suga Show if you guys think that he's going to win this easily? And for all those, Chito Vera fans that feel like we're not, putting some respect on his name, let us know in the comment section below. And we'll talk to you guys in the next one.